Hey everybody. Time for another Army Days video where I reflect about certain subject matters that are of interest to me and hopefully of interest to you. This is Army Days 8, and it's the weekend that I almost met Hulk Hogan. Boy, oh man. Because I was watching Tribute to the Troops a few weeks back, and like I said, they've been going out, and they went out to Fort Bragg last year, and it's this big place. We didn't have. I was at Fort Bragg. We didn't have that big coliseum they went to. I don't know when they built this. I never knew anything about this or anything. To my knowledge, they never had anything like that when I was at Fort Bragg. I mean, but they were always doing construction and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, this was back in 90 and 91. I was in Fort Bragg, so this was a long time ago. But they didn't have this back then, and the wrestlers never really went out to see the troops when I was in the Army, and I was a big wrestling fan. Bigger, I mean, in a way, a lot of ways bigger than I am now, because growing up with it, I lost interest in wrestling a little bit in the late '90s, between '94 and 93 to '98. I lost some interest, but I mean, I was a real big wrestling fan back then, and like I said, they never really went out to see us. And then I remember, oh man, I'll never forget. This is when they used to have the main event on Saturday nights. Even when I was growing up in high school and stuff like that, they had it on for one night a month. They'd have it on, have Saturday Night Live, and then one night per month they'd have wrestling main event, and that's back when it was really big, the main event. And then, and they would have that for. I see a lot of times in Germany they have that. And then when I went to Fort Bragg, they started having it on Fridays nights at 10 o'clock from 10 to 11. They changed it. And it was, I don't know, it was just an hour. I liked it more the hour and a half format. And I remember, well, it was in May. I think it was in May. And I had the whole weekend off. I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. Because we worked with civilians and stuff. We had like civilian hours, and sometimes they had like rotating schedule, so we had more days. So I had like 4 days off, which was awesome. I was at the library. I looked up, and all the people that I worked with hated wrestling, so no one else would talk about this or make a big deal about it, but it was a big deal to me. Well, me and my one friend, Donaldson, that was a good guy. Both like wrestling. And everyone else was real. I went to the Army with some of the most cynical people. Hated Three Stooges. They hated Marx Brothers. They hated Laurel and Hardy. They hated a lot of metal. They hated horror films. Hated wrestling. It's weird though. A lot of cynical people, but some people dug wrestling, but a lot of people hated it especially when I was in the Army. And no one said anything about this. I was in the army. I was in the library Sunday afternoon. Someone says USO presents Hulk Hogan coming to Fort Bragg. It's like, oh man, Hulk Hogan! That was awesome. I looked. It was Friday and Saturday, and it was Sunday, so it already happened. It was the last 2 days before I saw that, so I missed it. I was so bummed out. It sucked so bad. And I watched that when they were doing filming for Monday Night Main Event. They only did a little bit of filming. And I saw they posed right next. They had a raising of the flag Iwo Jima right at that statue. That's real close to where I lived while I was living in the barracks. I was so bummed out. I miss Hulk Hogan. I was a big Hulk Hogan fan back then. I still am, but I was really a big fan back then. Man, I was so bummed. It sucked so bad. And that was back whenever Sergeant Slaughter was a bad guy. And he was a Iraqi sympathizer. And he was getting death threats. And then they changed. I mean, and then, whenever I came back I went to Fort Detrick, Maryland for a while. I came back in October. Toward the end of October, he was trying to be a good guy again, going, I want my country back. But it sucked so bad I miss Hulk Hogan. Because I saw that ad. USO was just a small ad. I didn't see any other publication throughout the whole post about Hulk Hogan coming there. I don't know who got the drop on it. I mean, that's the only post I saw that said USO. And man, that sucked. I missed it. I couldn't believe it. Oh well. That was a bummer. There you go. The weekend I almost met Hulk Hogan. So until next time, bye, please take care of my Legion. That was a bummer, man. Big time bummer. I think May of 91. Sometime May of 91. Bummer.